So a few weeks ago, I posted a video where Adam and I were giving ridiculous advice on how to use cameras, and I got trolled by this guy from F64 Academy called Blake Rudis, and he said, well, with that kind of advice, it explains a lot about your photos, just saying. So I responded, oh really? Do you think that you could do better, Mr. F64? And then he responded with, get this, I have a huge academy, you know that, right? You might be able to learn something. Did you subscribe to my channel yet? So anyway, long story short, I emailed this guy and I said, right, if you think you're all that, let's throw down, have one of my best images from my Faroe Islands trip, and I want to see you process it. Let's see what you can do, Mr. F64. And this is what happened.
So, Gavin, you know, I love your videos. I've been watching your videos for years, but, you know, after seeing the video where you were trying to teach that guy how to take pictures during one of your workshops, I figured I'd probably lend you some advice on how to edit coastal shots before we go to the Oregon coast together in a seminar. So I'm just trying to give you a little help here before we, you know, go head first with hundreds of people in a room. And I don't want you to look like a jackass.
Right. Okay, well, I mean, I figured that this might be a little bit of a snore fest. So just in case I don't nod off, I've got my coffee beans ready.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
That smells so good. So I'll get that percolating while you attempt to not put me to sleep.
Okay, cool. Well, you know, I got the files that you put in the zip file here. All of the different pictures. It looks like you got six shots here of what coast was Faroe Islands? Is that where you were?
Yeah, that's on the Faroe Islands. That's on the island of Suðuroy.
Well, you've already been to a lot better places than I have. Awesome.
Well, I'm a proper photographer, not just some Photoshop guy, you know.
That's true. That is true. Well, I'll show you some things here. The first thing I see, if you are a proper photographer, is that things are really dark. You know that, right? Like, photography is all about light, and I'm really not seeing a whole lot of light here. But
yeah, see what you've got to realize is that those are deliberately underexposed. You see, just to protect the highlights, right?
Oh, is that to preserve your battery because you were at high ISOs, like you said in that video?
Oh, that's good. That's fast.
So, you know, I watch all your videos, Gavin, and I think, you know, that's how I know that about the high ISO battery thing. But maybe if you watch more of my videos, you'd be better at Photoshop. I'm just kind of saying, like, you can learn things from other people. Okay? That's why we're here.
Well, you definitely talk a big talk. Let's see you walk the walk, shall we, Blake?
Cool. All right. Well, let's just dive right into it then. So, this one's crap, so I'm just gonna delete that one. This one, kind of, okay. We'll delete that one. I don't know. Do you delete things, or do you just kind of keep all this crap on your computer? So, I like this 504 and this 509 because I really like the light that I'm seeing there. I think we can do something with these underexposed photos. So I'm going to right click on this and just say open in camera raw, just both of them. Okay. Because I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to take some from one of them and some from another one of them. Yeah. Cause I like the light there. So we'll probably just do like an exposure blend. Are you familiar with that?
Sorry. Just, you know, on my YouTube channel, I like to look sharp for my audience. You know, they're used to a certain standard of presentability. And I mean, don't get me wrong, you look pretty cool in that Fototripper t-shirt, I must say, but you know, I've got to keep standards. So what was that you were saying about exposure blending? What was it?
Yeah, it's kind of like time blending that you do, but just with the actual exposures and not time. Okay, so what I'm going to do first off, this is kind of what I do to get started, is just hit the auto button because it does a good job of giving me like a good kind of dynamic range idea of what I could possibly do with these. Oh, that's actually a pretty well exposed photo now that I look at it. You're a Sony shooter too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, at least we have one thing in common, because I do tend to go a little on the underexposed side with the Sonys as well. So that's good. Okay, so we'll just do auto on this one as well too. And really, I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, is this what you usually do with your photos? You just hit the auto button and just kind of put it out there for your subscribers to see?
Well, clearly, as a professional landscape photographer, Blake, I don't shoot in auto. I shoot in manual, as I'm sure you know. I'm pretty sure it says on the raw files there. But
no. I was talking about the auto button that's in Adobe Camera Raw, because that actually uses that artificial intelligence, and I think you could use all the intelligence you could get. So you might want to hit the auto button in Adobe Camera Raw from now on.
Oh my God, nobody hits the auto button in Adobe Camera Raw. Nobody does that.
Well. It gave me a pretty good result. I could probably fool your subscribers. So actually, some of your subscribers are probably some of my subscribers. So I probably shouldn't have said that. So I'm just gonna keep going and try to dig myself out with that cat hole shovel that you use all the time when you're out on your workshops and stuff.
This shovel.
Yeah, that one. That
this is just me. This is for me cat litter. In fact, I haven't emptied it for quite a while. The pong in here is significantly ripe right now. So just give me 2 seconds. I've just got to go and top it up, just to put a little covering over the stinky ones.
Okay. Well, hey. Gavin. Hey, I'm trying to show.
I won't be long. I'll just. Hang on. Oh, God, look at the size of that one. Jesus.
Man, oh man.
What are these cats bloody eating?
What did I...
Oh, the stench. Oh. The best thing to do is just cover it up. There you go. Cover it up.
Right.
Oh, man, that is... Oh, look at this. It's like a bloody cigar, that one. Christ.
Nice. So, I got the artificial intelligence done here in Adobe Camera Raw. I'm going to go ahead and just open both of these in Photoshop and just select both of them and say open images. Okay. It's taking some time.
Like a bit more coffee here.
It's not going to take that long. I'm going to go ahead and just grab one of these exposures and bring it right over to the other one by just clicking on it, pressing shift, and move it over to the other one. So I got both light on here. That looks really good. I like the light that we're seeing here on this exposure and the light that I'm seeing on this exposure. So this is where I'm talking about the exposure blending. But one of the things that's in Photoshop is if you grab both of these and say auto align layers, then it will supposedly make a good assessment of what layers to align and by the features that are in them. But I don't use that very often. I'd actually rather click on this layer 1 and change this to the difference blend mode. Okay. So with that set to the difference blend mode, if I move this by pressing a nudge with my right or left bracket or right or left arrow keys, what you can see there is that it kind of misaligns the images. But when I get good black on both edges there, that means it's perfect. So, from now on, I don't think you'll have any problems doing your time blending exposures if you use the difference blend mode to do that. Okay.
Yeah, that's a fairly decent tip, I think I've heard it before, but I'm sure you've got some good ones.
Yeah, I do. I definitely do. I think you're going to love the stuff that I'm going to do with this. So this is also what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take a look at these images and see which one I want to kind of shine through here. I want this to come through on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and just make a mask on here. Press B for my brush tool. And then I'm going to go ahead and just kind of brush this out. Oh, look at that light that's coming there. That's beautiful. Okay. All right. Really? You're shaving.
What's that?
You're shaving. Well, okay. Yep.
Well, I can. It's like having a mirror. I can see myself in the webcam thing there, and I can see I needed a bit of a trim. So,
yeah.
Like I say, there's a certain standard of presentability that I have to deliver to my audience, which I'm sure you'll figure out one day. It's a bit of a slow process, this, then, Blake.
Oh, I thought you were still, I'm just kind of messing around here because I thought you were going to maybe, I don't know, clip your fingernails or something while I'm trying to show you something here.
Well, I'm waiting for something to happen, you know.
Oh, okay. Well, so now I've got these two on here, and if I press and hold shift and click on my mask, that shows me kind of what I painted in here and the light that I've put on there. So I can then see, if I switch back over to my white brush here, maybe some of this area here that I like on that rock, and that looks pretty good. Okay. So now that I've got these two exposures blended, I can kind of start removing some distractions that I might see in here. But I'm going to do that on my own layer. So I'm just going to make a new layer here, press Control and Spacebar to zoom into the back here, and I see that tower, that cell phone tower, whatever that is there. So we'll just go ahead and take the clone stamp tool and we'll just get rid of some of this stuff.
You can't just take that out?
Yeah.
That's part of the landscape, man. This is fakery. You can't do that.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, it seems like you fake it till you make it a lot. So you should probably do it in your photos too.
Unbelievable.
There's more over here. Should I get rid of these too, Gavin? Oh, can I get rid of these? Is that going to offend you?
I mean, you know, it's your gig. It's your artistic expression. You do what you need to do.
I like that. That's like passive aggressive figures. Okay, boom. Okay, so that looks good. Okay. Yeah, okay, so now that we've got rid of the distractions here, I'm going to go ahead and make a typical luminosity mask of this image so I can get the luminance values of all the brightest portions of the photo so I can edit them separately from the dark tones, okay? And then I'm going to do this really cool trick where I borrow that mask and then invert it so I can do the same thing with the darks. So I basically push and pull the light and the dark in the image. It's almost like dodging and burning, but doing it very selective with masking. So I'm going to press Control-Alt-2. And you're not really going to see anything happen here but a bunch of racing ants all over the image. But if I press the curves adjustment layer, and you'll see here that as I press the curve, it automatically puts the mask on there. Pretty cool, huh? So now, with that done, I can go ahead and push and pull the lightest light areas in the image. And that's starting to look good. But the problem here is that it's selecting a little bit too much. So if you want to selectively edit this mask, you can go ahead and click on the mask itself and go to Image, Adjustments, and then Levels. So now you can adjust the actual levels of this mask so that it doesn't affect too much more of our darker dark areas and only our brighter bright areas. See how that's working?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty nice. Yeah. Is that
pretty good?
Yeah. You like that? Okay. I think you can probably, definitely benefit from that one. So we'll press OK, and I'll look at this. If I press Alt or Option, look at the mask, you can see how now the mask is much more refined because the black areas, this curve is no longer affecting, but those bright areas are where you have all of that beautiful light that I'm actually surprised you were able to capture. So this is what I'm going to do though. I'm going to go ahead and add a curves adjustment layer, another one, and then I'm going to press Alt or Option and steal this mask and then just drag it on up to the next one. And then from there, if I press Command or Control I, that will invert the mask. So now I can edit the darkest dark areas. And if you're getting confused at this point, you can always just double click and say darks. Okay, so now I know I'm editing the darks and now I'm editing the whites. Okay?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, now that they're labeled, we'll go ahead and just make the dark areas just a slight bit darker there. And maybe just round them off with a little bit of brightness there. Getting a little too dark too quick, so maybe I'll brighten them up just a little bit and see where I'm at. Okay. So, I'm kind of liking where I'm at there. What do you think? You like that, Gavin? What are you thinking there? You know, I can actually push a button on here and see what it is that you're looking at.
Hey, what? No. I was paying attention to what you did.
What are you looking at, dude? Like cat memes? I'm trying to show you some good stuff in Photoshop, and you're looking at cat memes.
I'll be honest, Blake. It's a bit of a problem. Like sometimes it's 4 or 5 hours a day. Once I get started, I just can't stop. I just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and then I try and get my cat to reenact some of the. Anyway, carry on. No, I was paying attention.
You could look at my videos for 4 or 5 hours. Jeez, come on, man.
Well, I'd need a lot more coffee than I currently got here.
Okay. So now one of the things I like to do after I kind of get my tones where I want them, some people think, well, why don't you just do that in Adobe Camera Raw or Lightroom? Well, the thing is that you just can't get that kind of selective refinement in Adobe Camera Raw or Lightroom like you can with a really good luminosity mask. So now what I like to do is actually dodge and burn. It's, it's a technique that they use in the darkroom to brighten areas and darken areas. And I like to do that on just a basic, 50% gray layer. So I'm going to make a new layer, press Shift F5, and I'm going to fill that with 50% gray. Press OK, and then change that to soft light. And what that allows me to do is then click over here on my dodge and burn tool. Where are we here? That looks like this guy right here. I'm just going to select the dodge tool, because if you just select the dodge tool, you can actually switch between the dodge and the burn tool by pressing Alt. So it's really kind of cool. So I'm going to go ahead and just start brightening up areas that I think need a little bit of brightening. I'm going to invite the viewer into this space with a little bit of dodging. Maybe this little hill here, that looks good. Oh, beautiful. Okay, and then make my brush a little bit smaller by pressing the left bracket key, and then just darken this area down, and then maybe darken that. Maybe brighten some of this area here a little bit more. Come along this side here, and then maybe darken this area down. Maybe kind of brighten this up here and darken this down, and get this really nice and dialed in here. Okay, a little bit darker there, and a little bit brighter over here. So I'm going to go ahead and then just drop the opacity a little bit so it has a nice little blend there. That just lets me sculpt the image's light a little bit more. And from here, I have this workflow. It's tone, color, and artistic effects. So I've done tonal work. I'm going to do some color work now. And to do some color work, I'm going to add a gradient to this to kind of tie all the tones and colors together. So I'm going to click on the gradient tool here. And I'm going to make a linear gradient that kind of sweeps along this side. So I'm going to basically take a light that's going to come up here and cast across here while adding color. So it's a pretty cool technique. I've built a lot of gradients here that I'm going to just kind of scan through and see which one will be good for this. I can't really tell when you have your gradients like this. So this is kind of a trick for most people. We'll just hit this gradient because I know you like pastel colors. And then we'll just change this to soft light. Okay, so when we change it to soft light, it's actually kind of cool what it does there. It gives it a nice, this nice cascading color effect as the sun would be coming across. But again, that's not the best gradient. So if I double click on this gradient, I can then come back in here and then maybe change this to some other gradient that'll work a little bit better. And I just kind of click around here. It's kind of like, Bob Ross finding the right color to put on the canvas there. Not that I'm like the Bob Ross of photography or anything like that. No, I don't know.
I think you should have a Bob Ross haircut. You'd have a bit more credibility, I think, if you did that, Blake.
Probably. Okay. So, actually, I think I can work with this gradient here. If I change it to soft light and just drop the opacity just a little bit, that gradient does a good job of kind of, pushing away that blue and green that's happening here and giving it more of this beautiful kind of pinkish light that's coming across, almost as if you caught this at the right time of day instead of bright blue skies. Maybe if this was closer to sunset, this would probably have been.
Look, we had to get the last ferry back. You got to work with what you got, man. I think considering it was afternoon, we did all right with the light we got.
I'm just telling you, you can make it more beautiful in Photoshop with a gradient. Okay, it's a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. See that? Pretty good. We drop the opacity just a little bit more. Let some of that, since you like that blue, I'll let that come through by adding this like 50% or something like that. Okay. We can compromise. I think 50%. Yeah. Okay. It's looking pretty good. What do you think, Gavin? What are you doing now? Oh, cleaning your sensor. Awesome. Yeah, this is not the time to clean your sensor. Gavin, you know what? I wasn't going to do this, but I'm definitely going to do it now. Okay? Let me just grab a file here that I have here of okay. So, check this out. All right. I've got this eagle here. I'm going to take this eagle.
No, you can't do this.
Oh no, you just wait. It gets better. It gets even
This is
better.
Cheating.
No. You know what?
Oh, for God's sake.
Oh, look at that. Oh, perfect. Beautiful.
That's...
Oh, look at that. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. But it's going to get better, Gavin, because I was just waiting for, you to do some jackass thing like clean your camera while I'm trying to teach you something. So I think you can probably take something from your buddy here, Adam.
There was no way I was going to hold it together. down. Oh, it's beautiful. That's worth every minute that you put into it.
I found that, the landscape photographer of the year, you know why he's so good?
Why?
It's because he actually rides on the backs of eagles when he takes his pictures. He doesn't even need a drone. Look at him.
I hope he's riding on the back of it. It looks like he's doing something else there. Oh, my phone's ringing. It's Adam. I bet he's pissed off with you. I bet he's watching this right now. He will not like this, I'll tell you.
Okay.
Hey, mate.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that image. It's brilliant.
What do you mean you like it?
Oh, it's way better.
Terrible.
Oh, it's better than yours. Yours is crap.
You prefer it to
Oh,
mine?
it's way better.
Oh, have fun in Greenland, won't you?
Oh, I will. Don't you worry.
All right, he likes it.
Oh, yep, I thought he would. Because you see his award there? It says, Landscape Photographer of the Year. Okay, I just wanted to make sure you saw that little detail. Because I watch all of your videos. I told you, Gavin. So, there's one thing that I like to do especially on images like this, because they just really make it look so much better, is I'm going to add a sun flare. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to fill a layer. God. Shift F5, 50% gray, okay? And then here's the trick with sun flares. So once it's set to 50% gray, you can use your white brush and just boom. Okay, so we got a little white spot there. That's just a reference mark. So if I go to filter, I go to render, I'm going to go to lens flare. And this is the perfect photo for a lens flare. And I'll just put that right. See, if I take this lens flare here, you can see I can put it right on that white spot. It's kind of like a reference point to know exactly where I need that to be. I'll make it really bright so you can really see the back of Adam. Okay, and we'll press OK. And then if I just change this to the hard light blend mode, it just drops all of that gray stuff out, and I can put this right behind Adam. And look at that. He just pops right off the page. Perfect. Look at that. Oh, so good. I might drop the opacity just a little bit, but that's how the landscape photographer of the year takes awesome pictures. He just rides around on the backs of eagles, man. Doesn't even need a drone. Amazing.
Disgraceful.
Yeah. And I'll actually just finish it off with a vignette.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Mm-hmm. Do you want a white vignette or a black vignette?
Well, either one is going to be atrocious.
Okay, let's do a white vignette then. Oh, look at that. It's going to be great. Make that a little bit bigger there. Oh, it looks so ethereal now, doesn't it? It looks
it looks ethereal, all right.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? Wow. And to think that we got all of that from this. I'm blown away. I'm blown away.
I just wish that out of all the paraphernalia that I'd brought into this office, I wish I brought a puke bin.
Oh, well, you do have your, cat litter box back there. You guys could share that.
No, it's full. All right, Blake, I think I've seen enough, right? I'll admit there were some quite flashy techniques. I'm not quite sure how anyone would remember all of those very clever and complicated and overly technical techniques, but I will admit they were quite impressive. But the end result is an atrocity that makes me want to spoon my eyes out. We're going to have to settle this on the Oregon coast in October. I will see you there, and we'll go shooting together, and we'll have a shoot off and see who gets the best shot, provided my batteries last long enough.
Okay, well, that's in October, so I can definitely print this on canvas and send it to you before then.
You don't have my address. You will not send that to me.
Oh, I'll just send it to Adam. I know him.
He'd probably like it, actually.
Well, okay, fine. You don't appreciate my hard work. I won't send it to you, but you know what? I'll see you on the coast. We'll see how this workshop goes.
All right, man. See you later. But thanks for buying my t-shirt, though. It looks really good on you.
I have shirts too, so when we do meet on the coast, I'll bring you a triple XL. What do you say?
Unbelievable. Actually, it'd be a bit tight.